Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Delicious in the Dungeon. We're now into episode 13, which is called Red Dragon 3 / Good Medicine. So the last episode, we have Falin back, thanks to some apparently dark magic that was done by Marcille. She was brought back with the dragon's blood, a lot of dragon's blood, and we see that there was a lot of skepticism over whether or not this was the right thing to do, but in the end, Leos was like, I want my sister back at all costs. So she's back. Falin seems to be okay. Her memories are slowly returning. For all intents and purposes, she looks like she's all right, but her magic seems to be very different, maybe more powerful, which the team hasn't really looked at too much at this point. But either way, they've decided to cut up and use as much of the dragon meat as they can in the meantime. And now they've got to figure out a way to get back out of the dungeon now that Falin is here. Because yeah, that's why they went back into the dungeon. They still have no money and no resources. However, at the end of the episode, we see that the elf that was inside of the painting that Laios was in about 3 episodes ago, is outside the painting now, and it looks like she might be possibly following the group for some reason. So again, we're not sure who she is. Was she part of the painting and decided to leave the painting? Was she just waiting for someone to show up who was like them? I don't know, but we'll have to find out. So let's jump in. Just before I do though, if you'd like to be in the know of when I drop episodes, please hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Oh yeah, I forgot that Falin was hallucinating. She was seeing a little kid in that house that no one else could see. Are they trying to stop her? Which is interesting. Huh? Okay. His Majesty. He was too concerned with his dragon ham. But she did go out the window though, so he wouldn't have necessarily known. Wow, okay. I didn't realize they were that high up, so she floated down. Or her body is that good now. I'm confused. Something's definitely going on. Uh-oh, monster alert. Unless the monster alert's for Falin? Okay, the point, ma'am. Not your poetical speech. Okay, so no one owns the sand, but nice try. So they do exist inside the paintings only. Usurpers. Super strong. She might have just killed her brother. Oh, not a book. Not book magic. We just fell straight into Black Clover. I guess it's a good thing that she does know dark magic. Lady, hurry up, quickly. Oh, Falin, not Falin, Marcille. Oh yeah, she got tricks too. Okay, Marcille, I'm liking this. But can't wield it? Oh no. Is it taking a toll on her? Okay. I don't know about that. I would think that may be a yes. Oh, so it was the dragon. Okay, I was worried that the dragon, something to do with the dragon might infect, because Falin is in there. Overtaken. Damn. Well, I was kind of sad because I think maybe we're supposed to lose Falin, unfortunately, and I don't think she's ever coming back. Senshi. What in the Star Wars? Not her staff, no. Is it Falin though? Well, I think the ghosts are trying to help you. I don't think they like that elf. Do we have time to figure that out? Right? Like, it's either die or follow the hole. Senshi, this is not the time for apprehension. Oh, it's the ghosts that are making it cold. I forgot. I think they're trying to tell you something this time, guys. Maybe, is there any way to talk to them? Because they were trying to help Faline, I think.
俺はこの辺の様子を調べてくる。
The scream!
それが俺たちにも。
穴が塞がってる。
Of course it did.
こいつらも娯楽に飢えてる。
Man,
待て。
they are
そ
so
なた
evil.
ゾン族長の妹君ではないか。
Oh, he knows names.
寛大な処置を求む。
Hmm. He knows you who you are. Clearly I met him.
突然竜の姿が消えたので妙だとは思っていたが、
All of a sudden.
族長に代わって礼を言う。
Where is the chief, by the way? Well, that'll wake him up. Her face, she's like, I think I'd prefer to perish. I don't know what's worse, whatever's in her mouth or the fact that she was the one administering it like that. Interesting.
地形を変え、本をめくるだけであらゆる生き物を殺す。
Gotcha.
俺たち狂乱の魔術師に目をつけられたってことか？冗談じゃない。
Because he killed the dragon.
レッドドラゴンをやっ
Yeah.
たせいか。
I think that's what it was.
それを警戒した兄は私たちにレッドドラゴンには手を
Well,
出
he
すな
didn't
と
tell
言った
us that little bit of information now, did he?
あいつらに付き合って死ぬのは真っ平だ。
It's fair.
腐った根性の匂いが移りそうだ。
Easy for you to say. Y'all didn't go and risk nothing.
戦士、お前は来ないのか
No,
よ。
Senchi's not
二人の
built
そば
like
に
that.
残るものも必要だろう。
He's kind of made it clear he's not afraid to die in here.
最後に見た時には魔術師の足元に倒
She
れ
was
てた
also
んだ。
super strong and probably broke her brother's chest.
仲間を騙す言い訳にはならんがな。
That part. You should just leave if you want to
ど
leave.
ことでも言えるよな。
That's true.
いや、なんでもないって。
You're not wrong, though.
姿を見せたい時だけ現れる。
Which they've done to you multiple times now, Chilchuk.
ついていこう。
They saved your life. I don't know which one. I mean, Faline's probably the only one who probably could have communicated with them, maybe, since she had her death magic on lock.
そういう話じゃねえ。そんな魔法が使えるなんて本人も知らなかったんだ。
Yeah, that's not really Faline.
どうやってお前たちだけでレッドドラゴンを倒した？
Thanks to your friends.
それは素晴らしい。
Actually was.
戦う者は勇ましくなくてはいけない。
Laos does have courage.
成功したからいいものの、
But that took courage to execute the gamble.
竜の肉を料理して食った。
それはいい。倒した者の特権だ。
You say so.
あの耳長があんな間抜けそうな顔をしていたのに。
Generally, but in this
間抜け
matter,
だよ。
she actually, she did it. She did the thing.
無理をすれば報われると思い込んでる。そんな奴ら、まともに説得なんてできるか？
Sometimes it's not about reason, friend.
自分の命が一番大事だからな。
ではなくて、
Self-aware.
素直に死なせたくないと言えばいいのに。
Saw through all that, huh?
こんなところまで張ってきたのか。
Very well could have.
俺たちの中じゃ、お前が一番賢かったな。
Maybe. I think it's a lot like you. Survival instincts first.
まだ近くにいるはずだ。
落ち着けって。
Yeah, you really can't stop him from looking for his sister. That's his choice, even if it is a suicide mission.
だがこれ以上の探索は今の俺たちには無理だ。
She's not wrong.
狂乱の魔術師を見たといえば島主が動くかもしれない。金を集めて誰かを雇うのもいい。
I like this approach better. At least you're being honest with why you want to leave.
引き返そう。ライオス。
Much better approach.
調味料などの一部食
Seasoning
材
man's
も
like, anyways, back to the real important stuff. Our food's gonna be bland.
町へ戻り物資を補給するべきだ。
Yeah, make it about the cuisine. But they're not wrong. You cannot take on that wizard by yourself.
できたなら、我々もできる限りの協力を
There you
しよう。
go. You can't do this on your own, bro. That magician literally put you on your asses with very little effort.
すまなかった。
If this is the magician's domain, you need more help. Marcille definitely needs to get her magic back because she's completely depleted after that. She barely had time to recover from resurrecting Faline before this happened. So yeah, the part that scares me right now is that they're clearly not figuring out the fact that Faline is not okay, that she's not the same. I'm not sure what's happening. I feel like there's parts of Faline in there because that's her body, but obviously there's more dragon, or I shouldn't say obviously, it seems like there's more dragon than Faline in that body right now. And so because of the fact that they use the dragon's blood, they may not be able to get Faline back because this dark wizard, this dark elf, I guess we can go ahead and call him a dark elf, they control the dragon, and the dragon's blood is in Faline. So by extension, Faline, I think that's what we saw her struggling with when she was on her knees and holding her head, is that I think she's trying to figure out what's going on, like the compulsion in her blood versus what's going on in her head, right? So she hit Laios really hard. Like, she's very strong at the moment, which again is probably the augmentation of the dragon blood. But the point is, I don't want Laios to go again, try to go up against her right now, because I do think in the dragon, the dragon's mindset, it doesn't care about Laios, right? It's good. Laios killed it, right? The dragon's actually got direct beef with Laios. So yeah, it's going to be unsafe for him to try to even go next to Faline right now, especially while that other elf is pulling her strings. But I do think there's a chance that Faline could potentially regain control of her body. It makes me really wonder about this whole resurrection thing, because they said that they often use, pig and goat blood normally is what they would use. So, what does that mean for the people that they bring back? Like, do they have pig or goat-like tendencies after they come back? Like, or maybe it's because they're just innate animals, or they're not magical animals, that they don't have a side effect. But either way, I knew there was going to be something that was going to be a result of using the dragon's blood as opposed to what they normally use, and also the dark magic spell. But maybe the dark magic might be the thing that ends up giving Faline the ability to break free of whatever the dungeon elf's magic is over the dragon. We don't know yet, but yeah, interesting episode. I didn't realize that this elf was the master of the dungeon. I thought that it was isolated to inside the paintings, but clearly not. And if this elf has been there since the beginning, like, there's a lot of questions here. Like, if that is the true master of the dungeon, is it a situation where something happened many, many centuries ago, and in their attempt to try to protect Dalgal, whatever the king's name is, they created the spell that enchanted this dungeon, but not necessarily with the intent of turning it into the absolute circus that it is now. And maybe they've, something about that made them snap and they don't realize what they've done. Or is it just that they've been trapped in there that long and they happen to be a powerful elf that's just stuck in there and doesn't realize what's been going on outside and in the world for all these hundreds of years? I don't know. There's a lot of questions where that one's concerned, but we'll have to just wait and figure it out. I guess if we get a chance to follow Faline, we might figure out what's going on there. But yeah, lots of questions, because we found out in the last episode that the elves want access to the dungeon now, and they feel like it's their, that the dungeon is actually rightfully theirs. So we heard Marcille say that this elf is using ancient magic. So to me, that says that they've probably been there for a very, very long time, and that's why they still even know how to use that magic. The book is very interesting. We've seen book magic in a lot of different types of stories in anime. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the story is behind this elf. And since this elf seems to be obsessed with finding the king, which I have a sneaking suspicion the king has been gone for a long time and they just don't want to believe it, or they don't know it. But yeah, figuring out what that's all about, and whether or not it's something that will help. If the truth of knowing that the king is gone will be the thing that breaks this spell for the elf, that's a good question. But yeah, just the arrival of this elf has just definitely sparked a lot of questions for me. But yeah, this was another interesting episode. We got into more of Chilchuck's mentality as well. And we know that in the beginning, we heard Chilchuck say that, like, he gets paid in advance because he doesn't want to risk, not getting paid if the group wipes, and that he's willing, he's been saying since the beginning that he's willing to dip and leave if things get too crazy. But they've been through a lot at this point. And clearly he's developed feelings for the group. And, it's very funny that he kept calling them dummies and idiots and all this stuff. And I like that the orc just kind of saw through it and was like, yeah, so anyways, why don't you just admit that the reason you don't want to just leave, because that's what he could have done. He didn't need to try to lie and trick them into leaving the dungeon. He could have just been like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's not safe. We're on a suicide mission. I'm going back to the surface. But he didn't want to leave them behind, right? He doesn't want them to walk into death. He wants them to come back with him because he doesn't want them to go, right? He's already watched Faline die once and he doesn't want to see anybody else get hurt. So I do like that after walking through everything and the orc kind of making him talk through his feelings and all of his thought processes and memories that, finally coming to that conclusion of like, just admit that you want to help them and you want them to leave and not hurt themselves. And, instead of lying and trying to trick them, which would absolutely have made Laos like, how he is about his sister. Like he would have been livid if he found out he'd been lied to. So yeah, even though he did lie to the group about his sword, but I suppose the gravity of that lie is different. But anyway, I'm glad that Chilchuk in the end decided to appeal instead from his sense of, caring for them and saying that, listen, I'm not saying we should give up on this, but I also think that we need to be smarter. Like us three is not our four. It's not enough. Like we can't go up against this, especially if they have control over monsters in the dungeon itself. We need help. We need more. It can't just be us. So thankfully, that did appeal to Laos, and he realizes that while it's frustrating to have gotten so close to finding what he went to this dungeon for, aka his sister, and having to walk away now, it is the right choice. And we already know that on the surface that gnome has already convinced the king to get more resources to go back into the dungeon to the lower floors. But the issue there, as we now know, is that he wants to wipe out the orcs, but the orcs are actually working with this group. So that's definitely going to be another source of contention for them to work through. But yeah, the plot is thickening considering that we're pretty much more than halfway through here. It's interesting that they're adding all these elements to this particular story, but I don't hate it. I'm enjoying it a lot. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.